Hello everyone, today is 29th of September and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, in this video we are going to take up the entire analysis of Hindu. We'll take all articles along with the background and the way forward. Now, I would also like to tell you that you can download explainer notes of this particular session from the Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box in YouTube. Now, let's first of all take overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are actually important in today's newspaper for our examination. So we have first page, and on first page we have the article Architect of India's Green Revolution departs. So article talks about MS Swaminathan, who was MS Swaminathan, whose brainchild was the Green Revolution and who was instrumental in ensuring the food security, nutritional security of India. We'll take this particular article. Then, guys, further moving on. After that, mob tries to storm Manipur CM house. Then these advertisements, etc., are there. Then moving on in city section, okay, we have the regional issues. Nothing much important is there. Then these advertisements and other such kind of things have been there. Fine. So nothing much important is given. Metro Plus in Gurugram 60 days after fire and arson. So article talks about the incident when there were the basically communal attacks that happened. Then further moving on in this particular action, Metro Plus page is there. Then coming to editorial section. So in editorial, we have one article, a milestone in Hindu marriage reform in India. We'll take this particular article, what article is talking about. Then India must cooperate on the Niger case if Canada provides evidence. Now guys, every day no need to follow this particular article for examination. Already we have taken up many articles on India Canada relation, but every day you need not to go in that particular thing. Then moving on, reform can address India's kidney transplant deficit. We'll take this particular article for the examination. Then India must attune its policy to ensure elderly. We'll take this article because yesterday we have seen that, and yesterday we have seen that UNFPA has released its report with respect to the elderly population in India. We'll take this article. Then moving on, should generative AI be regulated? We'll take this article. Then guys, moving to text and context inside the digital world of cookies. So when you go to any website, the website asks you a permission to store cookies. So what are the cookies? Cookies are your preferences, your basically these are the bits of the pieces of information that is stored by a website to make a customized, to give a customized experience to you. For example, when you go to Amazon, fine, whenever you go to an Amazon, whatever items that you have liked, whatever items you have put in your cart, they will always be there. It is why? Because that website or that platform is remembering the cookies. Okay, now that is being provided here. However, guys, not much important substance is not given. Then further moving on, what is the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance? We'll take this particular article. Then text and context article, KG George's on-screen women character immortalize the late director's brilliance. Okay, guys, again, much important thing has not been there. Okay, then further moving on, protesters do slow piece of probe. Okay, political articles, etc. are given. Then this article talks about the basically the article talks about the passing away of MS Swaminathan and how the different leaders have paid their homage. Then moving on in this particular direction, we have one article, MgNarega Social Audit Unit in a State of Paralysis. We'll take this particular article for exam point of view, what it is talking about. Then after that, Jaishankar meets Blinken. Sullivan points to big progress in relations. Okay. Then further moving on, after that, current account deficit widens to 9.2 billion on trade gap. Okay. Now, guys, understand this thing that export performance of India has not been that much good, largely due to the global slump that is going on. So, because of that, the trade deficit is widening up. But I have told you earlier also that you are not required to see the quarter by quarter current account deficit, that how much it has reached, because by the time you'll write your exam these numbers will change. Okay, but the state of Indian economy is something. But in this particular article, how much $1 billion it was earlier, how much it has increased, what is the quarter on quarter growth, what is the quarter on quarter increase, fine, etc. These kind of informations have been given. Then moving on, guys, after this particular thing we have here the corporate trends. We have then international page. Now in international page, fine, Nagorno, Nagorno-Karabakh separatist government says it will dissolve itself as people flee. Russian hike its defense spending by 70%, majorly because of the Russia-Ukraine war that is going on. Fine. Then Guys, after the sports page, in last we have science page, and in science page article is talking about what are monoclonal antibodies for Nipah virus. We'll take this particular article also. So this is overview of the newspaper, and now let's discuss all the relevant articles one by one in detail. So this is a synoptic notes that you can download and can use it for your newspaper analysis. Now, so guys, first article that so every class we start with a GS quotation where you can use these ideas for complementing them with your GS papers as well as for your essays. So today we'll take the quotation from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says that rights are not protected just by law, but by the social and moral conscience of the society. Okay, so you have been given so many of the rights. You have been given right to equality. You have been given right to freedom. Okay, there is right to life, right to liberty. So many rights have been given. Okay, now these rights we think that are being protected by constitution. They are being protected by legislature and judiciary. Only they are upholding your rights. No, if society, if society's moral conscience will not be there, if society will get corrupted, no rights can be secured. So moral uprightness of society, okay, social uprightness of society also ensures that you are able to enjoy your right. Okay, so you can use this particular idea with respect to GS paper number 4 ethics. GS paper number 4 ethics. Now, moving on, moving on in this particular direction, and let's take first article for today. Okay, so first article we are taking is on the monoclonal bodies, and the article is taken from the science section. So article talks about the Nipah virus outbreak. What are monoclonal antibodies? So first of all, this particular article will be taking for GS paper number 3 science and technology, as well as for prelims examination science and technology. Will take this particular article. Now, what has happened recently? You have seen that in Kerala, Nipah outbreak happened. And as this Nipah outbreak happened in Kerala, India has requested monoclonal antibodies from Australia. Monoclonal antibodies from Australia. Now, first of all, guys, when we talk about Nipah virus, when we talk about Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus. Zoonotic virus means that its original reservoir are animals or outside the human. The humans are not the natural reservoir of this virus. So this particular virus is found primarily in the bat, primarily into the bat. And this Nipah virus belongs to the family of Proximiridae virus family. It belongs to the Proximiridae virus family. Okay, and this particular virus is very much similar to the viruses that causes measles, influenza. Okay, and it very rapidly replicates in the body. So when people have got infected by this Nipah virus, we needed to treat them as soon as possible. So for that particular thing, monoclonal antibodies have been requested from Australia. Now, what are these monoclonal bodies? We'll see this particular thing. So basically, guys, when we talk about the monoclonal antibodies, they are the lab-made proteins. They are lab-made proteins which mimic antibodies. Now understand this particular thing, that suppose this is a person, and whenever a foreign antigen will enter in the body, let's say a virus enters in the body, body's immune system body's immune system will fight this particular virus, or will be fighting with the foreign antigen that has entered in your body. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that over as we have grown, many number of a times we have got infected with many viruses, many diseases, etc. Many antigens have come in our body, and already our immune system has prepared a specific type of antibodies which fight with a specific type of antigen, But when for the first time a person is getting infected by the Nipah virus, there is no antibody to fight this. There is no antibody. So from outside, we can inject the antibody in a person. Okay, how to make that antibodies? So these antibodies are made in a lab. They are the lab made proteins, and they function as antibody and fight against the Nipah virus. They act as the antibodies which are produced by the immune system. Okay, these antibodies attaches to the antigen, the foreign substance. Okay, and then they eliminate it from body. Now when we talk about these lab made antibodies, this particular breakthrough was brought by Niels K. Jern, George J.F. Kohler, and Cesar Milstein, they were also given the Nobel Prize in Medicine 1984 for the for developing the principles of monoclonal antibodies. And these antibodies now we have requested from Australia. Now, according to Lancet Journal on Infectious Diseases, it has been provided that which type of antibodies will be used, or which type of monoclonal antibodies will be used for Nipah virus. So M102.4, this is M102.4. It is a potent, fully human monoclonal antibody which neutralizes Hendra and Nipah virus. Hendra and Nipah virus. Okay, and when we talk about the Hendra and Nipah virus, both virus belongs to peroxymerade family, and both are the bat-borne viruses. Both are bat-borne viruses, and these viruses, I already told you, are very much similar to measles, influenza. So for Hendra and for Nipah, M102.4 monoclonal antibody is used. Now, when we talk about this particular antibody, this antibody has not been given an official clinical approval. This particular antibody has passed just the phase 1 of clinical trial. Now, what is a clinical trial? Basically, guys, whenever you have come out with a drug, whenever you have come out with a therapy, you test it through successive stages, and when it passes all the stages, that particular medicine or drug or therapy is rolled out for the public. Now, what is the phase 1? In phase 1, toxicity test is done, and on a few selected individuals, a drug or a medicine is tested. Okay, big randomized control trials have not happened up till now. Okay, so just the phase 1 has been passed, and because it is an urgency, now it is being given to the people on compassionate basis. It is being given to the people on compassionate basis. Now, what is compassionate use basis? The treatment will be given to the when there is no other option available. So when there is no option available, we are going to give it. Okay, so this is, guys, what has happened. Now further, guys, beyond this, the article is talking about that in which year invention happened, what type of base they have used. Okay, all such kind of a things that have been given, not much important. Okay, for example, if you'll go in the article, the things such as glycoproteins are major components that cause virus, according to a paper that was published in 2020. Okay, how the Kohler and Dr. Milstein, they established the first generation of monoclonal antibodies. Okay, all these core information that is given, that is not to be seen for exam point of view, because we need not to go in core microbiology. Okay, those kind of things neither asked in UPSC exam and not are needed for our examination, because very specifically UPSC specifies that the paper aims to check the general awareness. Okay, why I am telling you this particular thing? Because, guys, I see that aspirants are often wasting hours and hours on this particular thing and doing a kind of a PhD, but that thing is never important for examination. Then moving to next article, what is the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance? Now this particular article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 2, international groupings, GS paper number 2. So basically, guys, you might be knowing, and we have discussed it also, that India Canada relations have recently got strained. Why? Because recently Canadian Prime Minister has alleged that India has played a role in killing of a Khalistani leader in Canada. Okay, now how Canadian Prime Minister got that particular kind of an information? So it is coming out that because of the Five Eyes has helped Canada to get this information that India had played a role. So what is this Five Eyes initiative that we are going to see? So basically, guys, when we talk about the Five Eyes initiative, it is an intelligence and surveillance grouping which constitutes five countries. So Five Eyes, it is a multilateral intelligence sharing network. And what are these five countries? Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and US. So it carries the surveillance based and signal based intelligence. Okay. And whatever intelligence is collected by one country or the other country, all these intelligence is shared between these five. Okay. So basically, whatever intelligence is collected by UK, they will be accessible to, apart from UK, all these other countries also. So they collect information and they share information with each other. Now, when we talk about this particular Five Eyes Alliance, This Five Eye Alliance was created initially between USA and UK during the time of the Cold War because they wanted to deter the Soviet Union. So there was a lot of suspicion going on between Cold War where US thought that USSR is conspiring against them and USSR thought USA is conspiring against them. So therefore spy networks were created, a lot of intelligence sharing became important during this time. So US and UK came together. Okay. Now, one more thing, guys, I want to tell you. The idea of surveillance cooperation developed during World War II, but actually it became a kind of a concretized measure in Cold War. So, idea started around World War II. World War II. Okay. Now, what has happened during the World War II also? The US and UK has deciphered many of the German and Japanese secret codes during the war. And after Cold War, it was started against the USSR, and here it became formalized. Now, over a period of time, as the Cold War started evolving, other countries were also invited. For example, along with the US and UK, Canada joined in 1948, Australia and New Zealand joined in 1956. And after the joining of Australia and New Zealand in 1956, it became Five Eyes. It became Five Eyes Initiative. Now, when we talk about this particular Five Eyes, for a very long period of time, the world countries did not had any idea about this Five Eye Initiative, that there is a there is an information fine intelligence sharing initiative going on. And only in 2010, approximately 60 years after this Five Eye Alliance got started, what happened? The text of the agreement, text of the Five Eye Agreement was officially released. Okay, so for a very long period of time, it stayed in secrecy. Now, when we talk about this Five Eye Initiative, initially what happened? Different member countries were given a different mandate, that every country have to take up intelligence over a specific region. Okay, and then all that information will be pooled and will be shared with each other. For example, now you do not need to remember it. Fine. For example, for example, US US was responsible for carrying the intelligence information over Russia, Northern China, Asia, Latin America. Australia will consolidate the intelligence and information about Southern China, Indochina. Fine, Indochina includes Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the close neighbors of these countries, such as Indonesia. UK will was in charge of Africa, west of the Urals. Okay. So likewise, different countries were given the mandate to consolidate intelligence over the different regions, and that all that information will be pooled and will be shared with each other. So there was a pooled database also that is there. By the way, guys, this secret collective database is known as a stone ghost. It is known as a stone ghost. Okay. Now, with the collapse of USSR post 1991, the focus shifted away from USSR, but again they have kept on collecting information, and they are sharing information with each other. In 2013, there was Edward Snowden revelations, and in that Edward revelations, Snowden revelations. Okay, so Edward Snowden, he revealed a lot of information that even today, countries' specific information, countries' internal intelligence, fine, important information, they are being collected still and being shared by them. So this is, guys, all about this Five Eyes Initiative. So that is all about it. I hope you have understood it. And now we'll move to next article. MgNarega social audit unit in a state of paralysis in many states. We'll take this particular article with respect to GS paper number 2 governance. We'll take this article with respect to GS paper number 2 governance. Okay. Now, first of all, guys, some basic information. MgNarega. So, MgNarega stands for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. MgNarega provides minimum of 100 days of paid employment to every eligible household. Understand, it is not every person, but every eligible household. 100 days of paid employment will be given. Okay, and this particular employment will be for unskilled work. This particular employment will be of unskilled work, And by using this particular employment, community assets, community buildings, community projects can be constructed. If state want more than 100 days of employment also they can provide. And in past states such as the Odisha, they have given up to even 150 days of employment. Now, when we talk about MgNarega, in MgNarega, a lot of funding is being given, money is being used for procurement of raw material for construction as well as for wages. And for a very long period of time, there are the allegations that a lot of corruption goes in MgNarega. A lot of corruption goes in MgNarega. For example, 50 crore rupees were sanctioned for constructing a community center. But actually what happened, only 15 crore was used and 35 crore rupees, they were just diverted in corruption. So in order to ensure that corruption is not happening under MgNarega, social audit mechanism was integrated. Social audit mechanism was integrated. Now, what is a social audit? I have given here, guys. Please download the synoptic notes, as in the article it is not given. What is social audit? Social audit is a process through which the implementation and outcome of MgNarega program will be assessed, will be verified, and in that local community, civil societies, NGOs, they are going to play an important role. For example, 50 crore rupee was sanctioned. It will be assessed that whether all that money has been used or not, whether there was some corruption, whether there is some poor quality material that has been used. All these particular things will be audited by local community, NGO, civil society. This is the social audit. Okay. And social audit actually flags irregularities, corruption, etc. Okay. Now, basically, what has happened when we talk about the social audit, it has not been 100% effective. Why? Because according to the data that is available with the Union Rural Development Ministry, they say this particular thing: out of the total irregularities that have been flagged, and out of the amount that has been flagged that was not used in the project, only 14% of the amount has been recovered so far. For example, for example, it was said that 100 crore rupees have been spent on a particular on a multiple number of projects. Through social audit, it was found that no, 100 crore rupee was not spent. Only 50 crore rupee was spent. Only 50 crore rupee was spent. Means 50 crore rupee have been diverted. Now these 50 crore rupees are to be recovered. 50 crore rupees are to be recovered. So out of the amount that was to be recovered, only 14% is recovered. Only 14% is recovered. Okay. So a lot of corruption is going on. Now guys, it from here one another and a peculiar problem starts. What problem starts? Now see this thing. Social audit will flag irregularity, corruption. Now that particular basis will be used by the government, union government, that will not give you money. You are not using money properly. And as money is not coming, what happened? MgNarega programs got stalled. Moreover, the social audit units, they have not been given funding. They have not been given money. So therefore, they are not able to do their particular work properly. Okay, fine. And we see this particular thing. So section 17 of the MgNarega Act, it talks about that every Gram Sabha shall monitor the execution of work, and each state has a social audit unit. Fine. And these units are now fund starved. Fine. They don't have fund. Because they don't have fund, they don't have adequate personnel, they are not being given proper training. So the things which has flagged so much of corruption, it has become ineffective. It has become ineffective. So when you are writing answers on the GS paper number 2 governance, when you are writing answers on the GS paper number 2 governance, this particular dimension specifically you talk about that, because always whenever accountability is coming out, that accountability is needed, we use example of social audit. But how? There are problems that are going on. Moreover, because social audit units, they don't have money, they don't have funding, many number of times, many of the states, their social audit unit, they are just reporting zero number of cases and zero recoveries have been done. So particularly states in this direction are Gujarat, Goa, Meghalaya, fine, Puducherry, Ladakh. So there are zero cases reported, zero recoveries made. Why? Because social audit unit are not functioning. Why not functioning? No funding, no resource, no adequate personnel. So in order to bring accountability, in order to ensure, in order to bring accountability, as well as in order to ensure that they that corruption malpractices are avoided, we need to ensure the funding availability. So this is about it. Now moving to next article, caring for the old. Now by the way guys, just for your reference, I am telling you, Yesterday also this article we have taken up, because yesterday also there was a separate article that was published in the Hindu newspaper on the same report. Okay, so if you have seen yesterday's analysis, okay, and if you have taken down the notes also, much need not to be added. Only that note you should follow, and only just a few points in the last paragraph you can add extra. So no need to follow it again if you have seen yesterday's analysis. So basically what has happened, guys, United Nation Population Fund, UNFPA, United Nation Population Fund, has released its report, that is India Aging Report. Now this particular report, what this particular report talks about, this report is talking about the the elderliness in India. Elderliness in India, how many people are becoming old, what is the trend in elderliness. Okay, now according to this particular report provides this particular thing, that number of elderly population is going to increase, and their number will double from 10.5% to 20.8%, or from 14.9 crore in 2022 to around 34.7 crore. So the population of elderly people will be doubled. And as the population of elderly people will be doubled, it will have a lot of implications on the health, economy, and society as a whole. Why? Because understand this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about the elderly people, they need a special type of healthcare, but already government spending in healthcare has been dismally low. Around 1.5 to 1.6% of equivalent of GDP we are spending on health. National Health Policy 2017 recommended that at least 2.5% of GDP needs to be spent on health. But up till now, we have not scaled to that level. Around 1.5 to 1.6% we are spending on health. And when old people population will increase who need more health care, how we are going to go for that? Then social security nets, pension programs, etc. are not robust to ensure all the needs of the old age people in the old age. And when we talk about the states such as the Kerala and West Bengal, large number of elderly population, they are staying lonely. Why? Because their children have migrated out. Okay, so they live alone. So for them, loneliness, their health is a even big problem. Now when we talk about, guys, the elderliness in India, yesterday article specifically used two words. There is a feminization and ruralization of elderliness that is happening in India. Feminization of elderliness means that in the elder people, more and more female are there. Why? Because naturally females outlive the male. Life expectancy of female is more than male. This is a natural phenomena. So what happens post 60 years of age? Post 60 years of age, women will live more than the men. And these women, they first of all when we talk about, guys, female labor force participation rate, it stands around 24%. Some data says 25% also, but 24-25% is the female labor force participation rate. Means nearly 75% of women, they are not the part of labor force, and because of that they don't have financial savings. And when they will become old and they have become widowed, how they will be going to take care of themselves? So financial constraint, financial strain on these women are also going to come. Moreover, article also says that there are the interstate variation in terms of the elderliness. Specifically, when we talk about the southern states and some states such as the Himachal Pradesh, they are becoming elderly at a fast rate. Okay, and their elderly population share is more than national average, and it will increase even more by 2036. Okay, and for moreover, people are becoming elderly population is increasing. But guys, understand this particular thing, around 20% of the elderly people in India, they fall in the poorest 20 poorest wealth quantile. Okay, they fall in that. Okay, now guys, article is talking about this particular thing, that these 20% people, okay, the two fifth or 20% of the people out of the elderly people, they cannot afford health, they cannot afford the adequate geriatric care. What is geriatric care? Geriatric care is a specialized type of health care that is needed for old people. So help these people, we need to come out with a comprehensive health, food, shelter, and income security schemes, and whole of a society approach is needed, so that all the section of society, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion, irrespective of gender, they are catered upon. Now, there are many schemes also for the welfare of elderly people that are there, but they are not very popular. For example, there is a national policy on older person 1999. There is maintenance and welfare of parents and senior citizens act 2007. It specifically puts responsibility on children to take care of their parents, but neither it is getting implemented nor even elder people know this particular thing. So immediately we need to come out with certain initiatives so that the elder people can live with dignity. Moving on, a milestone in Hindu marriage reform in India. Okay. Now, this particular article, guys, we are going to take up with respect to GS paper number 1 and GS paper number 2. Social issues and social justice. Social issues and social justice. Now, this particular article, guys, is actually talking about a phenomena, which a particular type of a marriages it is talking about. What type of marriages? Self-respect marriages. Self-respect marriages. First of all, let's understand that what the self-respect marriages are all about. Very simple concept. I have given in article here also, but separately also. Let's understand, guys. Self-respect marriage movement was started in the regions of Tamil Nadu by the Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy. Okay, so Periyar started the self-respect marriage movement. Now, what is this self-respect marriage movement? In this self-respect marriage movement, number one, there will be the promotion of intercaste marriages as well as the promotion of interreligious marriages. Number one. Secondly, these marriages will be carried in a simplified manner. Elaborate ceremonies will not be there, elaborate rituals will be not there, elaborate mantra ucharan etc will not be there. So number one, intercaste marriages. Number two, very simple weddings without the rituals. It specifically rejected the traditional brahminical rituals. So basically brahminical rituals, brahminical mantras etc, they are carried, they will not be done. It emphasizes on secular and rationalistic ceremonies, and most of the times what happens, just in the front of close friends, families, relatives, two people declare that we are married. We are married. No such seven feras and all such kind of a things will be done. So these are the self-respect marriages, and many people they have adopted to these self-respect marriages. Okay. Now, when we talk about these self-respect marriages, article talks about that these self-respect marriages they were recognized through the Hindu Marriage Tamil Nadu Amendment Act. Self-respect marriage, they were validated earlier, but now what has happened, they are being invalidated and they are even being criminalized. They are being invalidated and they are being criminalized. And there many judgments have come, specifically the judgment of the Madras High Court, where the court have discredited these kind of marriages. Okay. And many number of times the children that are being born out of such marriages, they are being declared as illegitimate, and women in these marriages they are seem to be in an illegitimate kind of a relationship. Now, article talks about that when we talk about these self-respect movement, and out of the self-respect movement, self-respect marriages that came, they were specifically targeted against the Brahminical domination of rituals that was going on. These particular marriages, it basically Brahminical marriages, they upheld patriarchal rights of men, but these self-respect marriages they advocated equality between men and women. Patriarchy was not supported by these equal respect marriages. These marriages allowed women and men to involve in a dissoluble contract. Means whenever they want to get divorced, the divorce can be taken. And women were given also the right to divorce. Women were also given the right to divorce. And in these particular marriages, a lot of rights were given to women. For example, dissolve the marriage, they can remarry, they can claim the right in property. Okay. Okay. All these particular things were given. So point is that for women's autonomy, for recognition of women rights, this self-respect movement has done a good work. Okay. But what has happened, Madras High Court repeatedly have put a question mark on these particular kind of marriages. So therefore recently Supreme Court had reminded the Madras High Court on the validity of self-respect marriage. Okay. And it is being said that it is also a one type of a framework in which people are coming together. Why to disturb that? Okay. So this is, guys, what this entire article has talked about. Okay. Fine. I hope that you have understood it. And now moving to next article. Reform can address India's kidney transplant deficit. Now, this particular article, guys, we will take up with respect to GS paper number 2, social justice. GS paper number 2, social justice. Okay. Now, this particular article is actually talking about the kidney deficit in India. By the way, guys, when we talk about the organ transplants in India, organ transplants have been at a very low or a dismal rate. And specifically within the organ transplants, kidney transplants actually are at a very low rate, at a very dismal rate. Now, guys, when we talk about the kidney transplants in India, I just want to give you some number. For example, in 2022, 2 lakh people 2 lakh people needed a kidney, but only 7,500 transplants were carried. Means only 3.4% people who needed a kidney actually got a kidney. So there is a very big organ shortage in India, very big organ shortage in India, specifically the kidney shortage. Now when we talk about, guys, India, large number of people, they are having diabetes, malnourishment due to overcrowding, poor sanitation also. There is the chronic kidney disease that infect people, chronic kidney disease. And 17% of our population is prone to chronic kidney disease, 17% population. And if this chronic kidney disease reaches the last stage, then kidney transplant is only the option. So end stage renal disease, kidney transplant is only the option. But only 3.4% people who need kidney are actually able to get the kidney. In contrast, in US, transplants reaches up to 20%. So 20% people are able to avail kidney in US, but in India only 3.4% people are able to avail kidney. So basically, guys, what we need to do, we need to specifically reform the rules against the kidney transplantation. Article says it is not a problem that we don't know how to carry kidney transplant, we don't have medical facilities. Medical facilities are there, but rules and regulations are not supportive. How and what need to be done, that we are going to see in this particular article. So basically, the article says this particular thing, that see how a person can get a kidney. A kidney can be availed through a deceased person, a person who has died, or a kidney could be availed from a friend or a relative or a family member. Okay. Now, guys, when we talk about kidney, there are a lot of conditionalities that has to be met. For example, donor who is donating the kidney and recipient who is receiving the kidney, they have to be compatible with each other in terms of blood type, tissue type. Okay. And many number of times they are not compatible. Many number of times they are not compatible. So in that particular in that particular thing, kidney transfer cannot happen. So article is actually talking about two of the initiatives that should be explored more in India. One is one is kidney exchange method. One is kidney exchange method. Sorry. So two kidney exchange methods they are supporting. One is kidney swap and other is kidney chains. Kidney swap and kidney chains. These two methods they are suggesting. Now, what is a kidney swap? What is a kidney swap? So basically, suppose there are two women, Sunita and Zoya, and both of them require kidney. Now, Sunita and Zoya both can take the kidney of their husband, but Sunita's husband is not a compatible donor for Sunita, and Zoya's husband is not compatible donor for Zoya. Their blood don't match, their tissue or type doesn't match. But but Sunita's spouse is compatible with, okay, Sunita's spouse is compatible with Zoya, and Zoya's spouse is compatible with Sunita. Okay, so here swap can happen. How swap? Sunita's husband will give kidney to Zoya, and Zoya's husband will give kidney to Sunita. So this is a kind of a swap, and these kind of a swaps do happen in India also. Do happen in India also. Okay. Then another is kidney chain. Another is kidney chain. Now, what is a kidney chain? Suppose there is a person by the name of Sonu. Sonu is an altruistic donor. Altruistic who? What is altruism? Altruism is when you want to help another person even at the sake of your discomfort, at the sake of your pain, you want to help another person. So Sonu is an altruistic donor. He wants to donate kidney but doesn't want anything in return. So what can happen? Sonu can donate a kidney, let's say to Sunita. Okay. Then Sunita's husband. Now see, Sunita's husband, let's say, was not able to donate kidney to Sunita because they were not compatible. But Sonu donated the kidney to the Sunita. So Sunita's husband, out of compassion or out of altruism, can donate a kidney to anyone who is compatible. Okay. So Sunita's spouse donates to Zoya. Zoya's spouse donates to some other compatible person, and this chain will start. This chain will start. You have got a kidney, so you should, someone you in your family should donate to another. So this kidney chains could be started. But guys, in India, there is one problem in starting this kidney chain. Why? Because guys, if you see this particular thing, okay, occasional swaps, occasional swaps, they do happen in India. But in India, in most of the states, donating kidney out of altruism is illegal. Donating kidney out of altruism is illegal except Kerala. Now there is a logic also behind this thing. Why? Many people buy and sell kidney just for money. And many number of a times it has been said that poor people's kidney are being bought by the people in terms of money. Now this becomes an ethical and a moral question. So therefore, now because we cannot know, okay, on the front paper person will say that okay, I'm giving it in altruism, but on back end there might be some money that is involved. So therefore altruistic kidney transfers are banned, and because of this particular thing, one cannot start a kidney chain in India. One cannot start a kidney chain in India. Okay, when we talk about these kidney chains, they are being taken up in many other countries. For example, Australia, Canada, Netherlands, US, altruistic donations are allowed there, but in India they are not allowed. So government needs to rethink on this particular uh, government needs to rethink on this particular policy matter. Okay, this is guys all about this particular article. And now moving to next article. Should generative AI be regulated? Okay, now this particular article guys will see with respect to GS paper number 3, cyber technologies and the issues related to them. Okay, now first of all, what is the generative AI? Generative artificial intelligence is any kind of an artificial intelligence platform which can generate a text, a photo, a video, or any kind of a desired output result. Okay. Now, when we talk about these artificial intelligence, okay, this artificial intelligence, okay, we see that it is being said that it is similar to a genie out of a bottle. In less than 1 year, uh, we have seen so many of the generative AI platforms that have come. Chat GPT, Bard, Cloud, PI, Mid Journey, many such platforms have emerged, and these platforms often have many vulnerabilities. For example, you can use Chat GPT to write a phishing mail which looks convincing to a person, and a person will give his net banking password and eBay password and other credentials. Okay, so these AI are being used for a lot of works. Okay, today guys, what is happening? People are using AI to write books, to write proposals. But actually understand this particular thing, guys. Recently, what has happened? Many of the authors, they have filed a case against the Chat GPT, Open AI. Why? Particularly John Grisham is one of a very influential author. He has also filed a case. Why? Because see, they say that whatever output is being given by these AI, such as Chat GPT, it is inspired from their work. It is inspired from their work. So copyright violation, privacy concerns, using these platforms for some illegal kind of activities, that is happening. So therefore, guys, today what is happening around the world, the countries are going for the regulation of AI, and European Union in this particular direction is regulating the emerging technology, including the AI, and they are regulating it on the basis of the risk-based approach. Risk-based approach means the application of AI wherever the risk is possible. There they are regulating AI. Some places where a lot of risk is there while using AI, they don't allow AI. So understand, lot of risk will not allow AI. Marginal risk, we will regulate it. No risk, use it without much regulation, without much permission. So EU is regulating it onto the basis of the risk based approach. Okay, and they want that more and more transparency should be brought with respect to the usage of AI. Now article talks about that in India also we need to carry a discussion on the risk based approach. We need to assess that which AI platforms can have high risk, can have high vulnerabilities, and on the basis of that, we need to develop our own indigenous approach and need to regulate these AI platforms. Okay, so at least we can regulate these kind of acts where Chat GPT is being used to write the phishing mails, which sounds convincing, and there are many there are many visible spots where AI is unethical usage happening. So at least there we need to regulate it. Okay, so this is guys about it. Much substance is not there. Just this is the dimension that has been provided in this particular article. Now moving to the next article. Swaminathan walked ahead of his time's scientific community. So basically, guys, we saw this, that what has happened recently, MS Swaminathan, MS Swaminathan, agricultural scientist who was the architect of Green Revolution, and was instrumental in ensuring the nutritional security, food self-sufficiency of India. He has died because of the age-related issues. Now, MS Swaminathan, okay, was asked by the government to assist in agricultural reform in mid 1960s when back-to-back droughts were hitting the country. Okay, and his scientific inventions, his scientific methods helped India to come out of the droughts, and also India became a self-sufficient in the food crop, and today India is the uh, major producer of the food grains. Now, when we talk about the MS Swaminathan, he has been instrumental in developing high yielding basmati rice varieties. He also used the mutation of crops to develop a superior quality of crops. Okay, he applied the genetics for increasing the productivity of the food grains. Okay, also he launched the lab to land programs in which high yielding variety seeds were developed in lab. They were used into the agricultural fields and increased productivity was achieved. Moreover, on the nutritional quality front, fine, he focused on mutation of crops. Okay, so multiple crops could be mutated so that a better quality nutritional outcome or yield can be attained. Biofortification. He also promoted the funding to the states to promote agriculture, advanced agriculture, precision farming. Okay, National Academy of Agricultural Sciences also was promoted by him. All these particular steps were in order to marry the agriculture and science together. Okay, because of that, food and nutritional security has been attained by India. Okay, so this is a brief write-up on MS Swaminathan. Please add it in your notes because sometimes personality based questions also come in examination. Okay, so this is, guys, all about it. And now moving to the main practice question for today. The question reads: there is a high prevalence of chronic kidney disease in India, affecting about 17% of population. In this context, discuss the measures taken by Indian health agencies. Okay, so this will be the GS paper number 2, 10 marker question. Okay. That is all, guys, about it. And with this, we come to an end to the today's session. Now, guys, we'll be meeting tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you so much.